Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the class. I hope you all are safe and healthy too. Now, today in this session, which we are going to discuss the most and the important concept of the board syllabus, where the six market questions or four market questions are definitely asked from this concept. That is what we called as maxima and minima, and this is the one of the important application of derivative topic. So basically, what is the need of this topic? That name itself explaining everything. Whenever we are doing anything, we are just moving around the two concepts. Either we are dealing with maximum or we are dealing with minimum. Let us say, if you want to invest your money in any of the shares or whatever, in a business language, in any business, you want to maximize the profit and minimize the cost, or you want to maximize the profit at minimum risk, or you want to invest at maximum risk, right, to gain maximum profit. If you are dealing with transportation, right, so you want to minimize the cost. If you are dealing with the production, you want to minimize the cost, right? So whenever you are dealing with any of the thing, it may be related to a construction task, so you want to gain the maximum profit by using the minimum area, right? So in any of the unit, when you are dealing with the practical problems, either you are intended to find out what is the maximum value and what is the minimum value, or at which instant you will get the maximum value and at which instant you will get the minimum value, and that is the aspect is developed through the derivatives. That is what we call as application of derivative. How the derivative will help you out to find the maximum point and the minimum point of given graph. So graph is basically is a type of task, right? It may be a representing a cost function, it may representing a profit function, it may representing a construction, what we called as a graph of construction. So it may be anything but related to some function only. So every task of life is related to some mathematical equation, mathematical function. So to find the point of maxima, point of minima, right? So first we'll take the help of derivative. Before we get into the topic, first we need to understand key what is meant by the turning point. Again, though you have studied about the turning point of the graph in the last session where you have solved the increasing and decreasing functions. Now just have that one. What is first, before getting into the maxima and minima, you need to know the turning points of the graph. This is the first aspect, turning point of the graph. What are the turning point of graph? So when you know the turning point of the graph, then only you can able to find out whether the turning point is a point of maxima or point of minima. Okay, so just I am taking a graph, a random graph. Yeah, this is one of the graph f of x, right? If you see between these two endpoints, I would say this is the turning point and this is the turning point. Let us the turning point is a, yeah, at x is equal to a, and the graph take the turn at x is equal to b. So these two are called turning points. Now I wanted to know whether this turning point is the point of maxima or point of minima, right? So if you see the graph, then you can easily identify x is equal to a is the point of maxima, and x is equal to b is the point of minima, right? Because you are able to see the graph, right? If graph is given to you, if you are already constructed the graph, then you might have a knowledge about the point of maxima, point of minima. But when you come to the derivative part, at these 2 points, if you construct the tangent, then this tangent is parallel to x-axis. Am I right? This tangent is parallel to x-axis. Hence, at this point, the derivative of the function is equal to 0. Similarly, if you draw the tangent at the another turning point of the graph where the function is differentiable, right? The tangent again parallel to x-axis where the derivative of the function is again equal to 0. So first, before getting into the maxima and minima, first you need to know the turning points of the graph. To know the turning points of the graph, first we need to do the derivative of the graph where the derivative of the function is equal to 0, right? Then we will go for whether this point is point of maxima or point of minima. Okay, so now to know the maxima and point of minima, we are having two tests. So that tests are first derivative test. There are two tests to find whether the turning point is a point of maxima or point of minima. First derivative test and second derivative test. So first we'll understand how can these tests will help us to find out whether the point is maximum point or minimum point of the graph without sketching the graph, without constructing the graph. Ready? So how we can do that one? Just try to understand here. We know already that x is equal to a is a point of maxima. Hence, if you are taking any point left side of this point, that would be the point is very close to this. That point is called a minus h. Similarly, if you take any point, right side of this turning point is treated as a plus h. A small point, right, which is left side of a and right side of a. So when the x is increasing, right, now it is means that, see, at a minus h, the graph of the derivative of the graph is increases are positive. Derivative of the graph at this point, that is at a minus h, is positive, that is increases. Then here, if we observe the right hand side of the point, the derivative of the graph is decreasing, right? Decreasing. So derivative of the graph is decreasing. That is what? Negative. So what I mean to say, when you are moving from left to right means the value of x is increasing. If the value of x is increasing through this turning point A, if the the sign of the derivative of the function is moving from positive to negative, then this point is called, the turning point is called point of maxima. I repeat, first we'll find the turning point simply by doing the derivative. Then after we'll decide whether that point is the point of maxima or point of minima just by taking 2 points. One is left side of this point, other is right side of this point, right? Then we'll check if when x is increasing through this point, whether the derivative of the sine of, only sine, we are looking into the sine of the derivative of the function is moving from positive to negative or negative to positive. If the derivative of the graph is moving like from positive to negative, then this point is called point of maxima. Similarly, at this point you can see left side the derivative is negative, right side the derivative is positive. Hence, if the value of x is increases through this turning point, if the sign of the derivative is moving from negative to positive, then we say this is the point where the point of minima. So through this method, we can find whether the given obtained turning points are point of minima or point of maxima, and this test is called first order derivative test because we were using the first derivative only. One time only we are doing the derivative in this entire process. Hence, this is called first order derivative test. So first we'll take a question where we will see how the method will work to find the point of maxima and point of minima through the first order derivative test. Okay. Then we will go for double derivative test, which is very easiest one. Okay. Sure. Yeah. First I will write the flow, right? How can we find out the point of maxima? To find the point of maxima or point of point of minima. This is the question mark. For that, first what we'll do, we'll take the function, given function, we'll do the derivative of the function, then we'll let the derivative of the function is equal to 0, where we will get, which will give you the turning points of the graph A, B and C, like that. Then we'll take, right, we'll make an analysis table because we got the turning points, which we called as what? We called as turning points. Once we got the turning points, we wanted to check whether that turning point is point of maxima, point of minima. For that, what we'll do, we'll take each turning point. See, this analysis table, what we call it as analysis table. It's most important to express yourself. This is called turning point. We'll study the sign of derivative, right? And then we'll decide it is point of maxima or minima. Okay. Then if it is asked what is the maximum value and minimum value, maximum value or the minimum value. If it is asked, then only we'll go for it, otherwise not. Now, first we'll take one turning point. Okay, let us say there are two turning points. Okay. First we'll take x is equal to a. Okay, so now we'll take 2 points. One is left side of this a and right side of this a. Okay, so at a minus h, a minus h लेंगे और a plus h लेंगे. If the derivative sign यानी कि f dash x is, let us say, is positive and at a plus h it is negative, then what we called as here, it is point of maxima, because derivative sign is moving first positive, means increasing, and then decreasing, positive to negative, then we can say yes, it is a point of maxima. Now you can understand this is the first part is over. Then we'll take x is equal to b, that is the second turning point of the graph. If you are taking like b minus h and b plus h, means one point below this b, one point below this, sorry, m, that is left and right. When the value of the x is moving from left to right through this turning point, you have studied that the sign of derivative is moving like negative to positive. Negative to positive means decreasing to increasing. Then this point is called point of minima. So point of minima. So what else? There is a third point C where there is no change in the sign of derivative. Let us see. There is x is equal to c, the third turning point, and you have taken two values. One is left and right side of this point, and you have observed that in both the cases, derivative sign is remain same. Either it is positive or it is negative. In this case, what you will say, there is no change in the sign of the derivative, means there is no point of maxima or minima. There is no point of maxima and minima. Hence, this point is called basically point of inflection. What we call point of inflection. It is neither a point of minima nor a point of maxima. You can see this type of nature when you are drawing a cubic function. So if you observe the x is equal to 0, right, is the turning point of the graph, we can assume, because when you do the derivative of the function, that will be the turning point. But at this turning point, right, the graph neither attains the minimum value nor attains the maximum value. So we will discuss later on through a question. So this is a pro forma you need to follow. Then you will decide which point is the point of maxima and which turning point is the point of minima. What about the maximum value and minimum value? Okay, so when we are talking about the maximum value and minimum value, means let us take x is equal to a, already decided that it is a point of maxima. Now I wanted to find the maximum value of the function. So in this case, we will find the value of the function at this point, that is f of a. F of a means in the given function, we will put that turning point. That is what we called as f of a will give the maximum value of the function at this point. Similarly, to get the minimum value, because since it's a minimum point of minima, we will put that value in the function to get the minimum value, and we cannot find anything over here because it is neither a point of minima nor a point of maxima. So this the method which we called as what? First order derivative test. And now you have understood why this analysis table is made like this, because already we have discussed when it would be a point of maxima, when it would be a point of minima, when you are moving from left to right through these points, the derivative, the sign of derivative is changes, like positive to negative or negative to positive. That is what the analysis table gives you. Okay, and this method is called first order derivative test. So just by following this method, now we are going to understand two questions where you will see the methodology to find out the point of minima and maxima, and if possible we also find the maximum value and minimum value. Okay. Let's have the question on this. Yeah. Now from textbook only I am taking the question so that you can also refer later on. From NCERT I am taking example number 29. Yeah. The question is find all the points of find all the points of local minima and local maxima of the function f given by f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. Now definitely one question coming in your mind. So what does mean by here local minima, local maxima? Right? Just it's a terminology. See, I'm just drawing the graph. Simple graph. If I'm including means if I'm studying the point of maxima and point of minima within this closed interval a comma b, within this closed interval a comma b, then the point of the turning points, whatever the point of minima, it may be a point of maxima called local minima, right, and local maxima. And there may be a possibility that if you include, because if you are including the endpoints of the domain of the graph, right? So this point may be a point of minimum, point of maxima, or the graph may attain the maximum value and the minimum value at the endpoints of the graph, and in this case, these points are called absolute maximum, or if it is the lowest point of the graph, it's called absolute minimum. So absolute minimum, absolute maximum, and local minima, local maxima we will understand later on. Just focus on the core part of the content. Okay, then we will take some sums where you will understand the terminology. So when we say the point of minima, point of maxima, so by default we are dealing with local minima and local maxima. Just go with the process first. Yeah. To find the maxima and minima, first we'll take the function. What is that? F of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. We'll do the derivative of this function, that is f dash x, which will give 3x square minus 3. Then we'll let the derivative of the function is equal to 0 for critical points or for turning points. So ultimately it will give 3x square minus 3 equal to 0. So x square is equal to 1. So x is equal to plus minus 1. So finally we got two turning points. One is plus 1 and minus 1. So I can also write like either it will give -1 or +1, which we called as what? Turning points, right? So you may also term it as critical points. क्या बोल सकते हैं हम लोग इसको? Critical points. Now we need to know which turning point is the point of maxima or point of minima. For that we need to make a table which we called as analysis table. Actually. So now we are taking the table here slowly. First we'll take the critical points. Critical points. Okay. And then we'll take the sign of derivative. Sign of derivative of the function. And then we'll decide point of maxima or point of minima. First, what is the critical point we have? X is equal to -1, right? At x is equal to -1. So first we'll take one is left side of this point and the right side of this point. -1 से left side. So left side of the -1 क्या होगा? -1.1 and right side क्या होगा? -0.9. Okay. So when you take -1.1 and ये लेफ्ट साइड हो गया और एक राइट साइड हो गया. आप इस लेफ्ट साइड वैल्यू को आप डेरिवेटिव में रख के देखेंगे कि whether it is positive or negative. You will see what is the value of. If I take -1.1 over here, you will definitely get a positive value. You will definitely get positive value. Means here at this point the derivative of the value, that is derivative of the value, right, f dash x is positive, or simply I would write the derivative is positive. And when you put -0.9, right, that is the right side of the point, right side of the turning point, the derivative sign is negative, right? So ultimately, sorry, positive and negative. Yeah. Now you will see. So hence here when x is increases from left to right, the derivative sign is moving from positive to negative. Positive to negative at x is equal to -1. So we took one point here. Left side of this point means x is equal to -1 था. -1 से left side कौन सा लिया हमने? -1 point from this is left side. और राइट हैंड साइड कौन सा पॉइंट लिया था हमने? -0.9. What you have observed कि derivative sign is positive and derivative sign is negative. So positive means it increases, negative means it is decreases. Hence this point is called point of maxima. So we can decide x is equal to -1 is the point of maxima. Similarly, when we go with at x is equal to 1, because we are having two turning. So when x is equal to 1 means again we need to take one left hand side point, one right hand side point. So left side of 1 means 0.9, right side means 1.1. Closest point you need to take, very close points you need to take. So if I substitute 0.9, only 0.9 in the graph, sorry, not in the graph, in the derivative here, that is a number 1. So, okay, so 0.9 if you substitute, you will get negative value, and when you substitute 1.1, you will get positive value of the derivative. So when you are moving from left to right, that is the value of x is increases through this point 1, the derivative sign is changes from negative to positive, negative to positive, right? Negative to positive. Then this point x is equal to 1 is the point of minima. So now with the help of derivative, first derivative, I would be able to speak which point is the point of minima and which point is the point of maxima. Hence, we can also speak here. This is the local point, local minima and local maxima. So I was able to speak x is equal to -1 is the point of maxima and x is equal to 1 is the point of minima. So this technique, this method is called what? First order derivative test. Okay. So now we'll go with the another question, right? See. Same, just only the function will change, the question will remain same. ये जो पूरा method same रहेगा. एक ही बार derivative करना है because we are moving in the first order derivative test. Example number 30, I am taking 3030. I am taking example number 30 where the function is like again a cubic function we are having. F of x is equal to 2x cube minus 6x square plus 6x plus 5. So first the same again for solution. We'll take the function as it is, 2x cube minus 6x square plus 6x plus 5. We'll do the derivative f dash x, that is 6x square minus 12x plus 6, and then we'll let the derivative of the function equal to 0. This is reason number 1. For critical points, so if you observe the critical point, when you do that one, you will be able to get only 1 as a critical point because 6 is a common factor. See, when you do that one, 6 is a common factor, you are left with x square minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0, which would be x minus 1 into x minus 1, and x is equal to 1 only. Only you got one turning point of the graph, that is at 1. Now, what is the rest part? Now, we need to find whether this turning point is point of maxima or point of minima. So, to find the point of maxima or point of minima, again we need to take one point left side of this turning point, one point is right side of this turning point. Nothing else. Check. So, again we are taking the turning point, the sign of derivative, sign of f dash x, then we'll decide the point of maxima or minima. So we are talking about if x is equal to 1, so we'll take one point left side of this point, that is 1 say left side means 1 say come, that is 0.9, and once it's just greater 1.1. Close point you need to take. Now at this point we need to study the sign of derivative. The sign of derivative is positive or negative. So if you take that 0.9, right, still it is greater only, right? If you put 0.9 over here, it ultimately, you can see here, if you take 6 common, it reduces to x minus 1 whole square. Since it's a whole square, derivative is the perfect whole square. Whatever the value you are substituting over here, it definitely convert into positive, means there is no change in the sign of the derivative whether you are substituting the less than 1 or greater than 1. The derivative is still positive in both the points, hence there is no change in the sign of the derivative. Hence, this x is equal to 1 is neither a point of minima nor a point of maxima. Hence, x is equal to 1 is called point of inflection. There are two spellings, Flexion, or you may also write point of inflection. Both the way will work. Right, so point of inflection means it is neither a point of maxima nor a point of minima, right? Though the function is continuous and differentiable at this point, but the point is neither attains the maximum value or nor attains the minimum value. So we have taken two questions where you have observed some critical points act as a point of local minima, point of local maxima, and some points act as a point of inflection, neither a maximum point nor a minimum point. It means the function neither attains the maximum value nor attains the minimum value at this turning point. So this is the method which we are following is called first order derivative test. The same can be done through the second order derivative, which we call second order derivative test, and which is very easiest and time saving process. But the derivative second order derivative test is not universal, because in some cases the second order derivative test fails, then you need to move to the first order derivative again, and where it is possible we'll see. Again, I am taking the same example, previous example and this example. We will do the same one with the help of second order derivative test. Okay, I am taking the previous question again, example 29, because I wanted to keep the question same, turning points also same, only I need to wanted to find the point of minima and point of maxima through the alternative technique, that is second order test. Okay, so I am taking the function here f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. Again the same, question is same, but this time we are following the second order derivative test. What is the flow when you are following the second order derivative test? What is the flow? First we'll take the function, we'll go for the first derivative, we'll simply take, let the first derivative test is equal to 0, we'll find some critical points, and then we'll go for double derivative. In this double derivative, we'll put these critical points. Then we'll go for the testing process. If double derivative at particular critical point gives greater than value, that is greater than 0, means double derivative is positive at one particular point, then this will be a point of minima, reverse case. Remember, If double derivative is positive, then it is called point of minima. Double derivative is negative, then it is called point of maxima, reverse. If the double derivative becomes zero, remember, if the double derivative becomes zero at particular critical point, then the test fails. The test fails. You cannot take any decision over here. You cannot take any decision over here. So how can we decide then if whether it is a point of maxima or point of minima? Then we go for first order derivative test only. It means for this critical point you have to check, just we have checked like in the previous questions. We'll take one point left side of this critical point, one side that is left of A and right of A, and we'll study whether the first derivative value, sign of the first derivative is negative or positive. Then we will go for the final decision. So this is the simplest way, will save your time. In place of that analysis table, critical analysis table, we'll go with the double derivative test. Now let's have this one through the question. This is a flow. Okay. So now we are using the same question, but with the help of double derivative test we'll find f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. We'll go with the derivative as usual, like 3x square minus 3. Let the derivative of the function equal to 0, where x is equal to, we'll get plus 1 and minus 1, which we called as critical points. Critical points. And we need to check whether this critical point or turning point is point of maxima or point of minima. What we will do, then we will find double derivative first. What is the double derivative of this function? Let this is a number 1, 6x. Now we'll put one after the other in the double derivative. Means we are going to find now double derivative of 1 is 6 into 1 is 6. It is greater than 0. Therefore, x is equal to 1 is the point of minima. Over. Decision taken. And now put the another critical point minus 1 in the double derivative. So 6 into minus 1 is minus 6 is less than 0. Therefore, x is equal to minus 1 is a point of minima. Sorry, point of maxima. So now it's so simple to look at this solution and to understand how the double derivative will help us to find out whether the turning points, the obtained critical points, are point of minima or point of maxima in so simple manner. But you have already understood where the double test fails, where you get the double derivative value at a particular critical point becomes 0, then this test will not speak anything. Then you need to go for first order derivative test for this particular critical point only. Okay, so that is what we have. You can see in example 30. Again I am taking repeat read 1, example 30. You will see the double derivative test will fail. Then we'll go for the first order then. See, show you. Example 30 again. Example 30. So what was the question? We are having 2x cubed minus 6x square plus 6x plus 5. So we wanted to find the same one. So first order derivative will be 6x square minus 12x plus 6. Let the derivative of the function equal to 0 is the number 1. So ultimately 6 is a common factor, so x square minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. It means that x minus 1 whole square equal to 0, Rx is equal to 1. This is called critical point. Then we'll go for double derivative test. Because we wanted to use the double derivative test or technique to find the local minima and local maxima. So first, what is double derivative? What is double derivative? Means we need to do the derivative of this function again. It will give 12x minus 12. Then we'll put this turning point in the double derivative, that is f double dash of 1. So it will give what? 12 into 1 minus 12. It becomes 0. So double derivative value at this turning point is 0. So what we called it as no decision is taken. Because the test fails. Hence, we need to move for the first order derivative test. Therefore, now we need to use the first order derivative test. For that, what we have to take the same way which we have done. At x is equal to 0, we are talking about. We need to take 1 point less than 1 point greater than, and we'll study the sign of derivative is positive or negative, and then we'll decide whether it is a point of maxima or point of minima. So this is the fundamental way to deal with the question whether the obtained turning points are point of maxima or point of minima. Now I am taking one more question where you will see the trigonometric function, how to deal with that. Okay, let's have the question. Because you people are having a very much phobia about the trigonometric function, though it is so simple questions. Chill. So I'm taking one question where we need to find the same. The question remains same. Only what it will change, only the function. This will be changed. Okay. Methodology will be same, and we will definitely prefer second order derivative test until and unless the test fails. No one will prefer the first order derivative test until and unless the double derivative test is 0. Okay, so we'll follow the second derivative test, fine, in every case. Okay. So now what is the function we are having is sin x minus cos x, where x belongs to 0 to 2 pi. This is the question. So simply first we'll go with the derivative of the function. First we'll take the function. What is the function we are having? Sin x minus cos x, where x belongs to 0 to 2 pi. Fine. And we'll go with the derivative, that is f dash x. Derivative of sin x is cos x, and cos x is minus sin x. So derivative, this is result number 1. And for critical point, so what we'll do, let f dash x is equal to 0. It means that cos x plus sin x is equal to 0. Or you may also speak like sin x is equal to minus cos x, our tan x is equal to minus 1 simply by taking cos x in denominator. So we got tan x is equal to minus 1 is only possible when x is, the angle lies in the second quadrant or in the fourth quadrant. Tan x is negative. Tan x value is negative in second and fourth quadrant. Hence, the angle where the tan x attains the minus 1 is pi minus pi by 4 or 2 pi minus pi by 4. So, sorry, pi minus pi by 4, that is 3 pi by 4, pi minus pi by 4, and you can also speak 2 pi minus pi by 4 or 3 pi by 2. Yeah, then we can add plus over here 5 pi by, क्या बोल सकते हैं इसको आप, जैसे कि ये 0 हो गया, ये पाई बाई 2 हुआ, ये पाई हुआ, ये 3 पाई बाई 2 हुआ और ये 2 पाई हुआ. ओके, सो ये 1 तो पाई बाई 4 पर होता है और माइनस 1 के लिए हम या तो वो एंगल हम सेकंड में लेंगे या फोर्थ में लेंगे. सेकंड में जो मिलेंगे पाई माइनस थीटा और फोर्थ में लेंगे तो हम 2 पाई माइनस थीटा लेंगे. इसी हिसाब से मैं अब यहाँ लिख रहा हूं डायरेक्टली पाई माइनस थीटा एंड 2 पाई माइनस थीटा. सो 2 पाई माइनस पाई बाई 4. Okay, so it will be what? 8 pi minus pi, that is 7 pi by 4. So there are two possible values where the tan x attains the देखिए यहाँ ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि ये जो वैल्यू है क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स 0 to 2 pi के बीच में होना चाहिए because axis belongs to 0 to 2 pi. 45 sevens are, check करते 45 sevens are, no, 28 plus 3 31. Yeah, it will work fine. So these are the 2 points, 2 angles where tan x value is minus 1, and then we'll go for double derivative of this function. That is, double derivative of the function is what? Cos x is minus sin x is cos x. See, now we'll put one after the other. F double dash of 3 pi by 4, it means minus sine of 3 pi by 4 plus cos of 3 pi by 4. So it's basically pi minus pi by 4, 180 minus theta. Sine 180 minus theta is sine theta only, so it is reduced to minus sine pi by 4. Cos pi minus pi by 4 is minus cos pi by 4. It is minus 1 by root 2. It's minus 1 by root 2. It's minus 2 by root 2, which is less than 0. So I have just calculated the double derivative value at 3 pi by 4. I got it's a negative real number. Hence, I would say here, therefore, here x is equal to 3 pi by 4 is a point of maxima. Reverse. Okay. So double derivative is negative, hence this point is declared as point of maxima. Similarly, I would now put 7 pi by 4 in the double derivative. I will calculate its value, then I will decide whether it is positive or negative. Then I will go for the final decision. So we will find the double derivative value, right? F double dash of 7 pi by 4. So we'll put in the double derivative 1. So minus sine of 7 pi by 4 plus cos of 7 pi by 4. And then we'll take what it is, sine 2 pi minus theta is minus sine theta. So minus sine pi by 4, sorry, plus हो जाएगा, and cos 2 pi minus, that is 2 pi minus pi by 4 is cos pi by 4. So positive cos pi by 4. It's 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, that is 2 by root 2 is positive. Therefore, what I would say, x is equal to 7 pi by 4 is a point of minima. See, so double derivative test means simply first take the function derivative equal to 0, critical points, and thereafter do the double derivative. In that double derivative, put each and every single point, turning point, and then study the whether double derivative give negative answer or positive answer. If it is negative, take it as point of maxima. If double derivative give positive answer, it means point of minima, right? But remember, if double derivative becomes 0, the test will fail, means no decision will be taken at that point, and then we need to move to the first order derivative test to decide whether that turning point is point of minima or point of maxima or point of inflection, means neither maxima or nor minima. Now we'll go for the last question of today's session, right? Where we'll need to find absolute minima and absolute maxima. Now the question is, we need to find the absolute minimum value or absolute maximum value of the function Yeah, the category है. Only we are intended to find absolute maximum value, absolute minimum value. Now the very learning point of the thing here is, just आप एक बार ये कोशिश करना समझने के लिए. I'm just drawing one graph where you will see. So these are the turning points A, B, C, and D. So wherever the function attains the maximum value or minimum value, there are two aspects. One, graph must be continuous, right? That is there. But at these turning points, sometimes the derivative becomes 0. See, here this is 0 because tangent is parallel to x-axis. So here the derivative of the function is 0. But when you take these points of the graph, this may be a turning points of the graph, but at this turning point, you cannot construct the tangent. It means derivative does not exist, means the function is not differentiable. So when we talk about the turning point, simply by doing the derivative, means we are talking about the derivative of the function where the derivative is possible. But when we talk about the absolute minimum and absolute maximum, will also consider those points of the graph where the function is not differentiable. Where the function is not differentiable. So to find the turning points where they are asking about the absolute minimum and absolute maximum value of the function, it means we are only intended to find out the value of the function, not the turning points. Remember, we are just wanted to find out the maximum value of the function and minimum value of the function, not only the turning points of the graph. So here we are least bothered about the turning points. We are finding those points of the graph where it attains the maximum value and minimum value. Okay, so we are only interested to know the maximum value and minimum value, not in the turning points. And that may possible, right, at turning points or at end points of the graph. You can see. Let us say I am taking the graph here. See. So this is the lowest point where the graph may attain the minimum value. And at this point, shorten the maximum value of the graph, you can see. Okay, so this is what the end points within the closed interval I am talking about. So whenever the absolute maximum, absolute minimum value question is asked, it means this entire graph is dealing within the closed interval, means we are dealing in the what we called as within the limits, given limits, where including A is also included, B is also included, and we know when these 2 points are included within the closed interval, at this turning point you cannot construct the tangent, at this end point also we cannot construct the tangent, and even when the graph take the short turn we cannot construct the tangent. It means we are considering those points of the graph where the function derivative is not possible. Okay, it is only the case where they are asking the absolute minimum value, absolute maximum value, only value, not the turning point. So we are taking three aspects are three critical points of the graph, three critical points of the graph, three types where the function derivative is 0. Second, where the function derivative is not possible or does not exist, where the closed interval means point A and point B, where graph starts and where graph ends. Because at ending point also the function is not differentiable. So we'll take those critical points where the function derivative is 0, that is what these points, and where the graph is not differentiable. So these are the two aspects to find out the critical points when we are calculating the absolute minimum value and absolute maximum value of the function. Now let's take one question where we have to find absolute minimum and absolute maximum of the function. Let us take one question here. The function is given. It is the last question. 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 36x plus 1 on the interval 1 to 5. We are not taking the entire range, entire domain of this cubic function. Within this limit only, we wanted to find what is the maximum value it attains and at which point it attains the minimum value. So, in this case, what are the critical points first? First we'll do the derivative. Derivative is must where the derivative equal to 0, and we also consider those points where the function is not differentiable. Okay, so first we'll do the derivative. What you will get? 6x square minus 30x plus 36. Let the derivative equal to 0. It will give what? 6 as a common factor. So x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. So ultimately x would be minus plus 3 and x is equal to 2. See, we got two critical points when we do this derivative and equal to 0. X is equal to 2 comma 3. By equating the derivative is 0, which we called as critical points where the derivative is 0, but we are talking about absolute minimum and absolute maximum. In this case we also need to take the points where the function is not differentiable, because at those points also possible that function may attain the maximum value and minimum value. Hence we need to take the endpoints of the graph, because we know at these endpoints function is not differentiable. Hence therefore the final critical points, right, is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 5. 1 comma 5 must be taken because at these endpoints the function is not differentiable, and 2 comma 3 must be taken because at these points the function derivative is 0. So we are taking those points where the function is derivative is 0 or the function derivative is not possible. So we got 4 points directly. But we are not going to test which point is the point of minima, which point is a point of maxima, because we have only wanted to find the minimum and maximum value of the function. That's why we'll directly find f of 1, f of 2, f of 3, f of 5. F of 1 means we'll put 1 in the given function, that is 2 into 1 cube minus 15 into 1 square plus 36 into 1 plus 1. So if you find f of 1, we'll get 24. If in the same manner, if you do this one f of 2, you will get 29. F of 3, you will get 28. F of 5, you will get 56. Now out of these 4, you can see 56 is the maximum value and minimum value is 24. So what you will speak here? The absolute minimum value of the function is 24 and the maximum value of the function is 56. And minimum value of the function is possible at 1 and the maximum value of the function is possible at 5. That is the end points of the graph, not at the turning points of the graph. So this is the method we'll follow when the given question is like to find the absolute minimum value and absolute maximum value. Now to understand, just for sake of convenience, I am taking hardly it will take 1 minute to understand the question in some depth. I am just changing the function by keeping the concept same. By keeping the concept same. Just take this question just for a while. F of x is equal to 12 into x to the power of 4 by 3 minus 6 into x to the power of 1 by 3, where x is belongs to minus 1 and 1. Question will be same. If you go with the derivative, I am writing directly the reduced answer over after simplification. You will get 8x minus 1 upon x to the power of 2 by 3. This is a derivative answer after simplification. So let the derivative is equal to 0. So you would say this entire fraction equal to 0. So x is equal to, you will get 1 by 8 as a critical point. But you may also speak that when x is equal to 0, means denominator will be 0. Wherever denominator is 0, the derivative is not defined. So you will say at x is equal to 0, f dash x is not defined. Therefore, this is also considered as the critical point. So, whenever you are doing the derivative equal to 0, you need to think right in two ways, where the derivative is 0, where the derivative does not exist. Here at x is equal to 1 by 8, derivative becomes 0, but at x is equal to 0, derivative does not exist. Hence, you need to take both the critical points for absolute maximum and absolute minimum. Along with these two, you need to take the endpoints of the graph. We know that at every endpoints of the graph, the function does not, sorry, derivative does not exist. Hence, you got total 4 points, that is 1 by 8, 0, minus 1 and 1. Now, step by step, substitute these values in the function directly. It means you need to find f of 1 by 8, f of 0, f of minus 1, f of 1. Then check what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value of the function, right? Then you can give the answer directly. So it is neither called first derivative test nor called second derivative test. This is not the first derivative, second derivative test. Okay, so first derivative test, second derivative test are basically used to find out the point of maxima, point of minima. Remember, point of maxima and point of minima. Thereafter, we'll go for the value of the function. But when we talk about the absolute minimum and absolute maximum, only this is the technique you need to follow. That is function derivative equal to 0, find the critical point. But while finding the critical point, two aspects to be considered, where the derivative is 0, where the derivative is not exist, are f dash x is not defined. And it is always possible where the graph is not what we called as having the sharp turn, are at the end points of the graph, that is at the close points of the domain. So once you find out this 4 point, then directly take these 4 points in the function and find out the value of the function at which the value attain the maximum value and minimum value, and then decide which is the absolute maximum and absolute minimum value of the function. So by using this today's session, you will be able to complete 6.5 exercise till question number 12. I'll tell you, you can take this homework, write the last exercise 6.5 from NCERT till question number 12. Sorry, not 12, more than that. You will be able to, yeah, question number 12. Fine. So take this homework and try to finish the exercise till question number 12. If you have any doubts and any critical questions, we'll definitely discuss in the next session. So love you all. See you in the next session. Take care and bye-bye.